Hello, Austin, Texas. How are we doing tonight? Yes and yes. Storytelling has such a magical power, connecting all of us, no matter where we are from. That's why I am so honored tonight to be here telling my story. My name, Wen, actually means rainbow in the sky in Chinese. I am born and raised in a small town up in a mountain in the southern east part of China. Where I come from, if you ever want to visit nearby city, we will get into the car and we go around a mountain and around and around and around and around. 8 hours later, you will arrive. Ta-da! But I grew up without cars or internet. So you can imagine in a town like that, people born there, people live there, and they die happily there. In a small town like that, it's really stuck in the old world where girls are never wanted. I was born with disappointment. My father never even showed up in the hospital. Being a woman, being a girl, you got one job. You are meant to be the wife, to be the mother, a very sacred role. My entire family have embodied. My mother, my auntie, my grandmother, they are all happy stepping into that role. But I have this crazy idea. I thought, what would be so fun? What if one day I get to see the world beyond this little village, even though no one ever done it? Would be so fun. That was my wildest dream. I still remember the day when I walked around my village. And by the way, just so you know, imagine a mountain town where you walk around, everything is mountain. You are in the little world. I remember I just stare at the mountain where it meets the sky and just daydreaming, what would the world like outside of here? My story began by a random visit to a library where I found a cassette tape machine in the corner. And some of you might be old enough to know what cassette tape machine is. But if you do not, it is like iPod, but so less fancier. You get the context. So the moment I thought, without knowing what that was, I decided to teach myself English using that cassette machine. I thought maybe that could be my gateways to explore the world in the far west. There I began. And oh my God, by the way, how many of you all ever learned a second language? Wow, I mean, of course, wow, almost a lot of you. I don't recommend it if you have not. I remember the conversation like, hello, how are you? I'm good, aren't you? These 2 sentences will take me the whole afternoon. Just figure it out. First of all, what does that sound like? Use my mother tongue, Chinese, to map it out. What does that mean? How does that come together? How do I pronounce it? That will be the whole afternoon obsession. But for me, I have no other chance. This is my only pathway forward. I thought, this is my life. So I dedicate everything to it. You can imagine me, I will have my English book like maybe like this thick. I will tear the 3 parts. When I go to the bathroom, my sister, I'm not waiting here, get my line. I'm like reading this thing, think about how are you? I am memorizing in my mind because to me, this is everything I ever invested. This is my entire life. So 2 years later, I thought, wow, Wen, I'm sure I'm good enough. I never speak to any human being before besides my cassette tape machine, but she always told me good job, so I probably amazing at this. So I thought I am ready to take the big exam, use that to come into America. So there I was, taking the exams, and the first time I failed. And also we're thinking, well, when you do something you have not done before, this is your very first time, of course we fail. We learn something, we get better. Let's give it one more shot. 3 months later, second time, I fail again. But then I tell myself, third time is a charm. Then I failed the third time, the fourth time, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th. 3.5 years later, the very 8th time. This is time I'm thinking, all right, Wen, if this universe is divine, this is your moment to shine. Nothing have worked, but you had this crazy idea. This is your one chance. We are making it happen. So there I was. I sit in this tiny little, I sit in this international airport in a tiny little corner. And just so you give you some context, people from my hometown, they never left. So no one had a passport. So for me, by the way, you know how fancy it is? Be the first person who go to the police office, get a fancy passport. And that moment, as I sit in that corner in the airport, I feel so fancy. I thought, you know what? All the past failures, those are all in the past. Now I am here. As I'm seeing all the amazing people, like many of you who are world travelers with their fancy suitcase, they are consultants, they are bankers, they are all the fancy smart people. I'm thinking, I am just like them. Once I get across this fright, once I crush my exam, I will just like that, I will get to see the world like I always wanted. And that was the best 4 hours daydreaming ever. Just when it's about my turn to check in the flight, I was walking up, and the gate attendant looked at me and said, I'm sorry, miss, you cannot get on this flight. And I looked at her, I said, what do you mean? I have to go. You don't understand. I have to go. My exam is tomorrow. I cannot miss this. I swear I have to go. This is my hotel. I'm coming back the day after. I needed to go. And she said, well, I'm sorry, miss, but you just don't have this paper named visa. And I look at her, I'm like, what is visa? I got passport. Do you not understand how fancy this is? This is my chance. This is my only chance. Please let me go. I was nearly begging. A few minutes later, I sat back down to a little bench, and I saw the aircraft took off over my head without me. And that moment I thought, it took away my entire hope and dreams. You know, when you were young, you have some heartbreaking moment. We all do. But that moment, it felt someone just took my heart and stabbed it in a big knife to say, look at you. You are not good enough. Go back home. Who are you to dream something so crazy? Everyone else also, you are crazy, and they are right. You don't know what you're doing. You are not smart. Just go back home. I listened to that voice. I let it surround my whole body. I cry. I cry for not just 1 day, but 3-4 days. And surprisingly, not die from dehydration. 3 nights later. And I thought, you know what, all right, this is my moment. This is over. But just when I decide that, because I give it all this moment, but there's just a little tiny annoying whispering voice in this deep heart thinking, but when it just doesn't seem like this is the ending of your life. And I'm thinking, God darn it, I don't want to do this anymore. This has been 4 years now. Everyone of me, I'm entirely crazy. I have no friends, I have no support. But there we go. I'm gonna try one more time because it just doesn't feel like this is the end. That December, I got my damn visa. I was on the way to Malaysia and I got a near perfect score. And that score became my ticket to come to America 14 years ago to start my American dream. I am so unbelievably humbled to be here telling the story because today I felt I have finally seen the world. From the startup world, I'm hustling to a big fancy corporation world, to my own businesses, all the fancy things that I found. I finally see the world. It's not just a place I travel to, things I do, the amazing LinkedIn profile I have. At the end of the day, which is pretty amazing, by the way. Recommend you check it out. At the end of the day, it's a journey. It's a journey we took. It's never about the thing that we wanted to do or the business we want to create it or all the fancy things. It's who we are becoming. At this moment, as I'm standing here telling the story, I'm extremely honored and extremely proud who I am becoming today. I want to leave you out with one final thought. if a girl from a remote village can come this far in life, anything is possible. I want to encourage all of you to dream big, whatever the ideas in your heart, no matter how crazy it might sound, saying yes to that. Because if not now, when? If not you, whom? Now is the best time. Thank you so much, everyone. That's my time. My name is Wen. Thank you.